big thanks to Napoleon Grills for sponsoring this episode.
I'm gonna show you how you can make real authentic goulash.
All right, cut it yourself. Get the cheapest hunk of beef.
Oh, that's horrible. 2.7 million views, beef goulash. There's not such thing as beef goulash. It's pork. This has got nothing to do with real goulash.
Cupfuls of them large elbow macaronis.
What?
So let's just dump them in there, get it stirred up.
No way. He just put elbow macaroni in the... It's not mac and cheese. All right, that's it. I can't stand it anymore. Clearly, these guys are saying it's beef goulash, and they call it a lot of things. There's no such thing as beef goulash. It doesn't exist. Call it something else. If you want to make goulash, make goulash. Don't put elbow macaroni in goulash and call it goulash. Just don't call it goulash. I don't know, call it beef stew or whatever you want. Don't call it goulash. I gotta stop this abuse of goulash. It's such a beautiful dish and it's getting butchered, and now people start thinking like, wow, beef goulash actually looks good. I like goulash. And then when you show up with the authentic thing, they say, well, it's not that beef stew thing that I expect. No, we can't have the people of the future thinking goulash is something other than goulash. I'm gonna restore the faith in goulash. It's gotta have fresh ingredients fried up, and it's gotta have pork. Nice, fatty, rich pork. And most important, it's gotta have homemade noodles. And the end result shouldn't be a stew, it should be a beautiful soup, rich with beautiful fresh ingredients. Something that's warm and that fills your belly up when you've done a lot of hard work. And to do it right, we gotta start from scratch, at the beginning. I'm gonna be making my goulash outdoors on the Napoleon kettle grill. It's gonna give me that real, authentic, old-style cooking vibe. Of course, you can do this inside as well. I'm gonna load up my barbecue with a small amount of charcoal. That's gonna give me a small fire and a low amount of heat. I'm gonna put my grill grates in, and by adjusting the level of the grill grate, I can determine the amount of heat that I have in my pan. This is my grandma-style pan. A real goulash is made in a pan like this. It's made from heavy cast iron, and it's gonna spread out the heat evenly over the pan. I'm gonna let the pork fat melt down, and while that's happening, I'm going to dice 2 whole onions. And because we're gonna be using pork meat, the flavors are gonna work really well together. Now that we got the sweetness from the onions, it's time to add some bitterness from the paprika. And this is my easy method to separate the flesh of the paprika from the seeds. Of course, I gotta have them diced fine, and then they can go into the pan. And now that we have sweetness, bitterness, what do we miss? Yes, the acidity of tomatoes. So I'm gonna dice fine 2 whole tomatoes, and we want thick, flavorful tomatoes for our goulash. In they go, give it a good stir, mix it up real well, and let it continue to fry on. And now comes the base for any good goulash. Spices that will make this soup really authentic. 1 big tablespoon Hungarian paprika powder, 2 teaspoons caraway seed, 1 cube of dry chicken stock, and 2 teaspoons of ground pepper. And here comes the mother of all goulash ingredients. This is Vegeta. This is what I'm looking for. I need to end up with a thick paste at the end of my frying process. That thick paste is full of flavors, all of the moisture is expelled, and those herbs are really popping. Now it's time for the next step. This is a pork chop from the shoulder. And I selected this part of the pork to make sure that I have a good fat to meat ratio. I'm gonna put some pork lard in a cast iron pan and fry the diced sized pork chop in it. I'm looking for caramelization on the meat. That's gonna give it a lot of flavor. Once it's nice and brown, I'm gonna add it to the goulash. I'm gonna finish the flavor profile of the goulash with some fresh chopped celery and some fresh chopped parsley. Then it's time for the magical part, the ingredient that turns your ordinary goulash soup into the most desired goulash soup people have ever seen. It's time to make noodles. Just put a little bit of flour on your cutting board. Add egg yolk to it and start mixing it. Keep on kneading the dough until you get a hard, thick ball like this. It should be smooth in consistency. No big chunks of flour or pieces of egg left, just one smooth, big, hard ball. Once you got it perfect, it's time for a special pinching technique. Squeeze the dough between your fingers while moving your thumb towards you. Then let the noodle drop on a bed of flour. Once you've got these noodles sorted, it's time to add them to your goulash soup. This is the signature of a real goulash soup. If your goulash soup doesn't have home pinched noodles, it's not a goulash soup. My goulash has been simmering for 2.5 hours and we're almost to the point where it's finished. That's where I turn this soup into a full meal. I'm gonna add potatoes, dice size, and it's about 400 grams. I'm going to let these potatoes simmer with the soup for around 10 minutes. I think my Hungarian grandma couldn't have made it any better. I'm a bit of a liar, I don't have a Hungarian grandmother, but we've eaten a lot of goulash. It's cold out, and this is so heartwarming already. Just holding the bowl is just giving me goosebumps.
What are noodles? I keep hearing the word noodles. I see these tiny little things. I don't know what's going on here. I've never had this before. Here we go.
If you had that goulash with handmade noodles before, you know what I'm talking about. It's like everything is soft and like fall apart tender, and then you get the noodles, like the fresh homemade noodles. You can't beat that.
Noodles. Noodles is the way to go. Stop talking about Asian noodles. This is amazing.
This is about the vegetables. This is about the paprika. It's about that little burn in the back of your throat that you get from this dish.
It has everything. It has everything you want, and no way near a stew. This is a soup, but a soup full of riches. I see why you were angry about the whole beef stew thing.
Yeah. It
Oh, I
would have
get it.
tasted like beef. If you put beef in, it tastes like beef.
Yeah.
You don't want it to taste like beef. You actually want the paprika, all the stars, all the happiness, everything that's coming together.
This is really awesome.
And the problem with this is, once you had homemade,
You can never go back.
No. If somebody is gonna put noodles like pasta elbows, like macaroni elbows or like these little thingies, don't do that. Don't. Just pinch them. It's like a little bit of extra work. True, but it makes all the difference.
It reminds me of tortellini.
I just recommend one more
Yeah.
about that. If you're not gonna make homemade noodles,
Yeah.
leave them out.
Yeah. Yeah. I see what you're getting at.
Leave them out. Don't use beef. No beef, no not handmade noodles, and you're golden. Hope you guys enjoyed this show. If you did, then let us know. Give us a big thumbs up in the comment down below. See you next time. Until then, eet smakelijk and keep on making goulash soup.
It's already gone.
Yeah,
Everything is gone.
yeah. I ate the whole thing.